What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Okay. I'm going to be taking it back to my days as a tarot card reader on the Venice Beach Boardwalk. Now I'm going to be talking about the Venice Beach Boardwalk, but I want to talk about let's skip back to prior to me actually going out to set up a table at Venice Beach. Okay, I was walking around with a sign that said free readings. Okay. Now, most of the time, the individuals who I would get the readings from, they would absolutely tip. Okay, but you had some individuals who just did not give a fuck and just wanted you to open up your energy field so that they could do whatever the fuck they was doing. Let's go ahead and call our energy back from just that alone. Okay, go ahead and call our light sparks back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up within the midst or that had gotten lost there when I was out there giving free readings, walking around with that sign, when the individuals did not tip or pay, be released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? Now, there were these individuals. Now, these dudes, it was five okay, but only two of them came up to get a reading. However, it is important to know it was the looks for me. By that time I was used to it, but it's like it was the that heavy energy on my energy, on the light, fixated upon the light. Okay, it was the looks that they gave, and also at this time, spiritual warfare was a bit more. There was a bit more going on with this evil eye and things of this nature, as it pertains to the warfare at that time. This was maybe about 3 years ago, I would say. So anyway, these two dudes came up to me, and at this time I was not on Venice Beach. I was on I was in Santa Monica on the pier. I was walking down the pier with my sign that said free readings. Like I knew I could look over there and tell I knew something was not good about that energy, their energy, especially based on the way that they was just staring me down. Like, damn. Okay. So, anyway, one of the dudes came up, and I was actually excited to do his reading because I was seeing some good stuff up in that reading, okay? But then he got to talking about his Babylon, however the fuck you pronounce that shit within that Yoruba religion, the motherfucking Orishas and things of this nature. So this individual got to talking about his Babylon or Babylon, however the fuck you pronounce that shit, like I just said, okay? And then my it just confirmed my suspicions. Okay. Either way, the reading was somewhat of a good reading, but now I question the validity of it. Now I'm questioning the source. I'm questioning the sources from which I was getting the information, especially considering how still into the spider web I was. I wasn't out of the spider web. I wasn't able to see it from outside looking in like now. So the sources now, most of my sources were good, but there would still be that at times infiltration. Okay, so now I'm questioning his reading as valid. I don't think that reading was valid for him. What I do know is that they walked away, and it just very ungrateful. At that, very ungrateful. Did not tip. Didn't get. I know you got $1. You standing up there at motherfucking Santa Monica on the pier. Ooh, child. There's so much I could say, but see, I don't want to stay focused on them because they are not that important. Just let's go ahead and call our light sparks back from that and them. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy and light sparks and soul fragments that got caught up within any of those 5 individuals who was up there on that pier, okay, at Santa Monica when I gave them that reading by that fence up over there, okay, be removed, released, freed, healed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Um, any of my light sparks, I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up within any of them, or that had gotten stolen or abandoned there, are released, removed, freed, healed, and brought back home. Okay. So that would not be the last time that I seen these individuals in the same place on the Santa Monica Pier, and again, bitches just staring me down. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, now I had finally got out of the phase where I was walking around and carrying the sign, and I finally had got me a table and some chairs, and some shit to decorate my my table. Yeah. So before I even start, okay, because there was an incident that occurred at the Food for Less with Andy. And this having to do with my table and my chairs that I had to roll. First of all, I had to roll that big ass table with them chairs and carry it onto a bus almost every day or whenever I would go out. Now at this time, these motherfucking soulless beings were out of control. Out of control. There was a lot of energy harvesting, warfare as well going on at this time. And as well, we had Andy up in this stove on one night, okay, thinking he cute, showing off in front of his motherfucking coworkers. Cause Andy need a crew. He needed a crew. He needed to be backed by people. Okay. Showing off, kikiing and cackling. Okay, and I had to stop by the Food for Less on my way home that day because I was hungry, and I had to roll my table and chairs up into Food for Less. Okay, now I did not want to leave my table and chairs outside. Okay, or rolled them around the stove, so I left them up front while I went around and got what I wanted about the stove. And lo and behold, I get to the front, and mind you, at this time I was starting to discover what was going on, even though I did not know to the extent I know now. But then I knew who this individual was, to a certain extent. And I wasn't fucking with him. I wasn't feeling this individual. We was going through it. We was already going through it. Okay? And lo and behold, I see this individual. When I get to the front with my shit, this individual got his claws on my shit. Okay? And we're going to get into the way his hands look. Andy's hands. Is giving archon. But I seen this individual with his hands up on my shit. Now ain't no telling what the fuck he was doing. I'm picking up. I'm feeling like transferring some energy into my shit. Okay. I do know that I was very angry and upset. So let's go ahead and call out all our energy and like sparks back from this experience of having to carry that table and chair around and just all that. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up with having to navigate around with that chair and that table, being on that bus and being attacked by all them eyes of the soulless, be removed, released, freed, healed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that were stolen or that had gotten lost within the midst of Andy with them claws that look just like archons touching my shit before I got to the front. Okay? I decree and declare that any and all of my energy is returned immediately. Any and all of my light sparks returned immediately. Any and all of my soul fragments returned to me immediately. Okay. Now let's move on. Okay. So it was not just Venice Beach where I would be at. I also did like little pop-ups at other places, but Venice Beach was my main, where I set up at. The main place where I set up at. But I want to talk about this one customer that I had gotten while I was out there on Melrose. So I went and I set my table up on Melrose. I sure did. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this one customer. This was a black guy. Now, I couldn't tell whether he was into that whole Orisha shit, but he was full of shit. Okay, this individual, I could already tell that he was full of shit. I could already sense it before I started, shuffling the cards and pulling the cards or whatever. This individual had no money. Okay. And I was charging at this time. I was charging $11, but I let him slip through. Okay. Because I knew that he was full of shit. I wanted to see. I just wanted to see the cars come out. I wanted to feel this energy. I wanted to see. So, I wanted to play. This is what I did with a lot of these individuals that would come up to me, that were sent to me through these demonic networks, that were sent to me through these secret societies. I wanted to play. Bitch, they was coming to play and I wanted to play. And I always knew who they were. Okay? And he was one of them. And the reading I gave him, it was most definitely very accurate. Okay? But this individual was on the speakerphone. He had me on the speakerphone, and some girl was on the other end of that phone. Now that was very suspicious to me. And the whole time I was like, what the fuck did this dude think he doing? I was just looking at him like, you and your kind are stupid. And when I say him and his kind, I'm talking about him and any other of these individuals that got sent to me through these demonic networks or through these societies to come to me thinking that I don't know who they are. That's what I meant. That's what I meant by that. Okay. So he had me on the speakerphone with some girl on the phone, and he was talking as if I didn't know that he was doing what he was doing. Like he was acting as if he was getting over. Okay? So, anyway, the dude walked away without paying. Okay? I feel like he was spooked too because the reading was just too accurate. But let's go ahead and call back them light sparks and them fragments that got lost up during that session with this dude that was full of shit coming up. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up within that dude that came up over there thinking he was doing something and wasn't, be released, removed, freed, then brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? Um, let's move on, okay? So let's get to Venice Beach because of course I had to save the best for last. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about two different customers. Okay, now the first one I'm going to talk about, let's just talk about this first one first. Now, this was a soulless being who would come up to me talking about his music career, which I was seeing some really good things up in them cards, but I also seen that this individual was surrounded by wolves, especially this one woman who kept popping up, and she kept popping up as the Queen of Wands. Okay, she kept popping up as the Queen of Wands. I kept seeing the Magician. I kept seeing the Death card. I kept seeing like the Five of Swords. Every single card that I kept seeing the spiritual warfare cards. Okay, coming out about this lady that he was surrounding himself with. Anyway, I did see some good things in them cards about him, but I feel like those things were unattainable while he was entertaining the energies that he was entertaining. So while he was still entertaining that woman, and she was deadly, I'm talking about a deadly woman, I can feel her energy now. Like, the energy of this woman is like I'm feeling skeleton. I'm feeling a skeleton, something about a skeleton. Skull. I'm hearing skull and bones too for some reason. But I'm hearing Crypt Keeper. That lady was dangerous. So anyway, whatever energies that this dude was entertaining, such as that lady. And I could also tell that he was helpless. He could not help himself. And like, again, that music career or whatever that is he was talking about, and that's the only thing that he would come up to me time after time and talk about. Okay, it was not going to come into fruition until he stopped dealing with those energies, and especially that lady that I kept seeing, that I'm feeling her energy now, that deadly lady, that poisonous lady. Also, okay, I gotta talk about how many times he came up to me. He came up to me about 3 or 4 times. Eventually, I got tired of the way that I would feel after he got up and left the table after only giving me $2 or $3 or $4 for a motherfucking reading. Okay? So I got tired of this individual coming, and I stopped reading for him. I absolutely, because I knew that it was this lady. I knew that it was this lady or these networks, that society coming through this soulless being that was sitting right in front of me. Okay? So we got to go ahead and call our light sparks back. We got to go ahead and call our energy back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got lost within the midst of this soulless being coming up to me time after time, getting those readings, and I think I did about 3 or 4 for them until I got tired of them. Released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child, which can only be me, baby. Okay. Now, let's move on. I think I'm talking about this one first. There was this other one also. Now he did pay me. Now hold on. Let's finish these decrees. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks. So for example, they got caught up in the midst of that lady who was definitely in the background. That deadly lady. The energy of that lady is nasty and disgusting. Any of my light sparks and soul fragments that got caught up within that disgusting energy of that lady who was definitely, most definitely sending him or something like that, even if it was subconscious or unconscious, be released, freed, removed, healed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Um. Now let's get into and as well, I decree and declare that any and all of my light sparks and so fragments that got caught up within any groups collectively, okay, any societies, any of these networks, released, freed, removed, healed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Now let's get on to this other dude. Now this individual right here, he drank me. Now he most definitely drained my energy. This probably gonna be a long one. But okay, this individual drained my energy very much so. Coming up to that table, talking about his family and his mama who has passed away, and I do believe that it was her coming to me in those readings that I was giving to him. I feel like he did not get the message. I mean, I read for him multiple times, maybe about 3 or 4 times. I read for this individual. The same thing was coming up in them cards every time. So when I get the same energy, when the same stuff is coming out, that tells me that the energy is not different. The energy is still the same. You have not shifted the energy in any way. The purpose of me sitting down doing these readings for individuals was not so that they could stay the same. It was not so that they could just stay complacent in the energy and just come and get readings. Bitch, for what? Wasting my energy. Okay? You are wasting my energy. Just like with the dude from before who was being sent. That soulless being who kept coming at me for the same shit. And I kept telling him the same shit time after time. Baby, I'm telling you, I would be at that table getting annoyed and the customer would know how annoyed I was getting, baby. I want the reader that you didn't want to sit down with. If you didn't want to get, because I was really reading now, and once I started to get mad, you was gonna feel it, okay? And so, this individual came up to me about the same issue. Either way, he was not doing anything to change it or fix it. So let's go ahead and call our light sparks back from this individual because a lot did get lost up in him in that situation. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments, that got caught up within the midst of that dude that kept coming on down there and sitting down and just getting readings for the sake of getting readings. He must just like the feeling of me opening up my energy field. Be released, removed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? Now, here is where it's about to start getting a little weirder, but I'm still gonna say the best for last. Let's talk about this lady. Now, I gotta tell you about this lady. Now, she was absolutely and completely obsessed with me and my energy. Okay, now we gotta talk about her. So she came up to me on Venice Beach. This was the first time where I met this lady up there on Venice Beach. I forgot how she had got my number, but I think at this time I had my cards or whatever. So I was giving out my cards. Um, um, or either she had gotten a reading and I gave her my number or something like that, cause I won't using the cards all the time. But anyway, she had gotten an initial reading from me on Venice Beach, and of course she was with some sort of network. She was down with some sort of network or society. She was most definitely sent. I could tell, especially as I'm not gonna call this a relationship because it ended quite quickly. But again, I started to notice how obsessed she was. She would call me, and now she did pay me money, but see, there was a way. There was this way about her. Okay, she had a very racist. There was some sort of a racist undertone to some of the things that she would say. Okay, she also had the nerve. See, I don't like. Okay, me, you're not gonna be up in my face disrespecting the other individuals that's in the same field as me, regardless of how I feel about them, whether I like them personally. You're not gonna talk about them in my presence or in my face, okay? Because that means that that why are you getting readings from individuals if you feel like that? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she one day she had the nerve to say something about she had gotten a reading. She was looking for me. She said she was looking for me. She said she was looking for me, honey, and she couldn't find me, and so she had to settle for some other tarot card reader. It was just the way she said it. You know, she had to go to some tarot card reader that she knew was lying or something like that. She said to me, and I didn't like it, and I felt disrespected. Okay, because I mean, how do you really feel about tarot card readers? And then the fact that you just call her some, she said some, quote, some tarot card reader. She had to go to some tarot card reader. So, anyway, okay. She had a smart ass mouth. Okay. So, let's go ahead. Matter of fact, I ain't done yet. So, of course, when she couldn't find me on Venice Beach, because sometimes I just wouldn't go out, she would call me up on that phone, and I would go on out to meet her at places and give her readings. Okay, I gotta talk about this incident that occurred right after I gave this lady a reading. Okay, at that coffee shop up yonder by where I used to live at. Now, I gave her this reading, and I had just made the money that she had gave me. But right after that, it's like I lost my wallet somehow, some way. Now, and okay, aside from that, this lady was also getting too close for comfort, and it freaked me out. It most definitely made me back off. Like, I mean, because I wanted to develop a client, relationship, sort of like that, a regular. But seeing her, the way that she just wanted me to open my field, did not listen at all, because I could just see that she wasn't listening. She was scattered. There was also a male energy, a King of Wands type of energy that I was picking up, like behind her, something like that, or something. And I'm picking up on handler, something like a handler or something like that. But anyway, okay. she also invited me to her house for Christmas. I think it was Christmas or either it was Thanksgiving, and I absolutely did accept the invitation. I did, but in the back of my mind, I was like, no, ma'am. I don't know what you got going on. I keep seeing this motherfucking male, this devilish King of Wands type energy in the background. No, ma'am, I will not be seeing you. But oh my God, here come Christmas Day or what day it was, Thanksgiving, and she blowing my phone up. She is just ready for me to come over, and I had to ask Spirit, what the fuck is going on? And what I was saying. Baby, no ma'am. No motherfucking ma'am, okay? So let's go ahead and call our light sparks back from this situation. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and so fragments that got caught up within that weird lady that was absolutely obsessed and had a smart ass mouth and almost got slapped across her face. Okay? Be released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks, soul fragments that got caught up within the midst of that lady or either that male that was lurking in the background or any groups or societies that she was sitting from or through are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, father, child, which is none other than me. Now, we didn't even get into the meat and potatoes on this one. I'm going to cut this one and do that one on the next one. But I am, now before I go with this one, the reason I'm doing this is because I got one more thing to say. Okay? Now, again, I was not just setting my table up at Venice Beach. I was going out, baby. I was on Hollywood Boulevard doing little pop-ups and shit. I was on Melrose. Or I was going all around where I felt like there was traffic at. So, let's talk about Melrose again. Now, I had set up on Melrose. Now, I got a couple readings that day. Both of these readings were, again, from individuals who were sent through those demonic networks. Okay? The way those cards was coming out and what I was seeing with the girl boyfriend. But anyway, see, this is not about them. They are not really important. But I do. Okay, I'm going to call my light sparks back from them at the end, okay? Let's talk about this lady who had the nerve to drove up. This old white lady, this old weird-looking white lady who looked like she into that sex trafficking, human trafficking shit. She looked like a candidate who would be into that or something like that. She looks like that, okay? She just drove up in that car while I was sitting down at that table. She gonna have the nerve to get up out that car and tell me how fabulous I'm looking, how great I'm looking, and can she get a picture? Or she just took a picture. She snapped a picture. I don't know if I can send it to her getting the picture or not, but she took a picture. Okay. Now let's go ahead and call our light sparks back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks and soul fragments that got lost, that got stolen, or that got abandoned within the midst of that lady who came on up there and decided to take a picture of my table and myself sitting at the table after telling me that I was fabulous. Any of my light sparks that got caught up within that, released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? All right. And I decree and declare that any and all of my light sparks, and so fragments that got caught up within any of those readings that I did while I was going out on pop-ups, Hollywood, Melrose, wherever I was at, giving them those readings, be released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Now, we're going to be getting into the meat and potatoes and that, because this one is going to be good. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to be, because I got a lot to say about it. Thank you. Bye-bye.